It's almost Mother's Day, and being a mom is wonderful, fulfilling, and let's face it, between you and me, at times a little challenging. It can wear you out, but don't worry, we are here to build you up. So if you are a mom, know a mom, want to be a mom, then this episode of The Rachel Cruze Show is for you. Becoming a mom has taught me a lot of things and has given me an even greater appreciation for all moms. Being a mom has some of the sweetest moments that you can ever imagine, but it also has some of the craziest moments. I mean, have you been there, moms? Do you know? Well, you'll appreciate this story. I was planning Christmas. You know, this is kind of out of season, but like last Christmas, this was Amelia's first Christmas where she actually understood what was going on. And I don't know your feelings towards Santa Claus. Some people don't do Santa at all. Some people love Santa. Well, I love Santa. Like, obsessed with Santa Claus and all the things. Elf on the shelf, like we're gonna bake cookies, leave out reindeer fruit. I mean, I love it. Don't judge, but I do. I love it all. So Amelia, I'm like telling her, oh my gosh, Santa's gonna come and he's gonna bring you some presents and it's so fun. And we love Jesus and it's Jesus's birthday, of course. But Santa's gonna be here and it's gonna be really exciting. And so Christmas Eve came and we like put out all the toys when she went to bed and I was so excited for her to get up because she was talking about Santa. Well, at about 2 a.m. on the monitor, we hear crying and yelling for daddy and mommy. And I was like, what? So Winston went up, came back down probably 10 minutes later, and he was like, she threw up. And I was like, she threw up? Amelia has never thrown up. I've never had a child who's thrown up before. Just remember that. So I go back and I'm like, oh my gosh, what do we do? He's like, well, I changed her sheets. She's fine. And I was like, okay. Within 30 minutes, crying again. I go up there and there's throw up again. And I was like, oh my gosh, no. So we take it off. So I only have 2 sheets, right? So now my child has no sheets and I was like, I don't know what to do. And so I said, okay, well, I'll just take her in the guest bedroom and I'll sleep with her in the bed and it'll be fine. So I'm like walking out and I'm trying to shield her eyes because you can see down to our living room because like I don't want her to see the presents. Like I'm still hanging on to this idea that Santa is still gonna be a thing, right? So I'm in bed with her and it's 3 a.m. I mean, we're just exhausted and she's like talking and playing. And then I remember she said, oh, mommy, my stomach. And I was like, oh gosh, you okay? You okay? And she was like, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a trash can. Like I forgot you have to have a trash can in these moments. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so she got sick on the side of the bed and I was like, man, oh no. I was like, it's okay, Amelia, everything's fine. Drink this water. You know, do you need gum? Like, I don't know what to do. And so then she's sitting there and I remember like 10 minutes later, she was like, And I looked at her in all seriousness and I said, you have the hiccups. You just have the hiccups. It's the hiccups. It was not the hiccups. She was gagging. So then I caught some in my hands as I'm trying to get off the bed. I mean, you guys, it was a hot mess. Like, it was a disaster. And then the whole next day, she was like feeling horrible. She wasn't even excited about the gifts. And it was just this moment of thinking as a mom, I don't know if you've had this moment where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I need my mom. Like, there's supposed to be an adult here taking care of this situation, and I'm the adult, and I don't know what I'm doing. So sometimes mom life, again, can be wonderful, and at times it's just crazy. But all of it together, it's such an important role and something that I do love so much. So for this episode, you moms out there, we want to celebrate you. And so what I'm going to do is talk to all types of moms here on the show today. We're going to be in the kitchen with my mom, Sharon Ramsey, and we're going to take one of her classic crock pot recipes and try it in the Instant Pot. And some of my best friends are going to stop by, one who is a full-time mom, one who works part-time, and one who is a full-time working mom. But first, I want to start off with someone who is absolutely incredible. Jennifer Raisback is a single mom who came to Ramsey Solutions here at the office to do her debt-free scream. She paid off $12,000 in a year. Amazing. And today she has taken the time out of her day to Skype in from work on her lunch break. So I'm so excited because I think we all can learn something from her. So Jennifer, thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Rachel. I'm very excited.
Good. Well, I love your whole story. So just kind of give us an overview. What were some of the financial challenges that you were facing being a single mom?
Of course. I mean, doing everything on a single income makes it more difficult. I really had to watch my budget. I don't have anybody else's income to really fall back on.
Absolutely. So with budgeting, that was a huge part of you winning. So how did you do that? Like tactically speaking, if someone was out there and they're like, okay, I need to get on a budget, what did you do?
I would sit down, do my budget, carry over what I could. And then when I would get paid every 2 weeks, I would take a look at what would need to get paid from that paycheck for the next 2 weeks. And kind of write that down and then look at, if there was anything left over, was there something maybe additional I could pay that didn't need to be paid till later in the month?
Okay, so I want to know for you, what was the moment you decided to change things?
I kind of just got to the point that I was just like, this is ridiculous. I just want to get it done. I don't want to have to deal with it anymore. And once I started really watching Dave's show on YouTube every single day and kind of getting into community there and then reading his book, and then especially reading your guys' book that you guys did together, I was just like, this is just, I just don't want to do this anymore. And I want to teach my kids a better way because I was taught that, you always have to have credit. Credit's fine. You know what I mean? Like my mom got me a store credit card when I was 16 to help build my credit. So I was just raised that way.
Yeah,
and I just decided that I just didn't want to do it anymore, that it was just, I didn't want to have to worry about it.
So for all moms out there, as you're trying to get your budget intact, sacrificing lifestyle, getting out of debt, all of it, did you deal with any of the mom guilt that I think every mom faces at some point in life, but specifically on this journey?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that as moms, especially maybe single parents, single moms or single dads, we kind of want to sometimes give our kids things that, maybe we didn't have, or, even more so for me, I think it's experiences. I really want to be able to take my kids on vacation. I really want to be able to go, fun places with them because I think that those kind of memories are really important. And I didn't have a lot of that when I was growing up. So yeah, I struggle with that. And it's especially hard when the schools that your kids go to and the friends that they're around have 2-parent families. So I heard a lot of, well, how come we can't do this? Or, can we go do this? And, your kids don't choose to be raised in a family where there's only one parent. So it can be really hard to tell them, no, we can't do that, or I can't afford it because I'm the only one. Because to them, I mean, it wasn't their choice to have to be in a, family with only one parent. So absolutely, I struggle with that. But I know that at the end of the day, the reasons why I did what I did is because I want to teach them, how to live without debt, and that it's okay to wait for things that you really, really want. I'm the only one that they can depend on to make sure things are taken care of. So
yeah,
I have to really keep that in the back of my head.
But you really are. I mean, you're just doing such an incredible job. I mean, it really is so powerful to hear your story and what you've walked through, because not only are they having to learn, your kids, the word no at times, but the legacy that you're leaving them, and they won't grow up, like you did, having that store credit card at 16 and it becoming a normal way. Their normal will be freedom from this point on. And that's such a remarkable thing. So for you, what was the biggest thing that you learned about yourself while you were going through this?
That I can really do anything I put my mind to. And that you don't have to have a large income in order to be successful financially. That it really comes down to living below your means and making things priority. Right now, I think I struggle with wanting to save for a lot of different things. So I'm even struggling with that right now. Like I have to make sure that I prioritize things. And I know that I can do it. It might take me longer than somebody else that has, 2 incomes, or even a single person with a large income. It might take longer, but focusing, doing things slow, steady, I'll get there. I just have to be patient and, give yourself maybe little rewards along the way just for accomplishing the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you what piece of advice you'd give someone who's in your situation, but you just answered it perfectly. I mean, seriously, it's like, oh my gosh, that's it. Like, you have to live below your means. You have to save up. Give yourself some rewards along the way to say that you can do it, because it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So great. I mean, seriously, Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on. And I'm so proud to know you and to hear your story and all the work that you've done. So thank you so much. Gosh, what an amazing story. Jennifer is an inspiration and a reminder of how much moms matter. And so I want to take a second and have a mom-to-mom moment. Moms, I know it's not the most fun topic to talk about, but you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself and your family. And one of the ways you can do that is to get term life insurance. Again, I know it isn't a lighthearted topic, but it is needed so you can make sure your family would be okay, God forbid, if something ever happens. I hear all the time from people that say they don't know where to start or even how much coverage they need. So if you work outside the home, like me, you'll need 10 to 12 times your income. And if you're a stay-at-home mom, like some of my friends you'll meet later, you'll need to look at what it would take to replace everything you do around your household to keep it going. Winston and I personally use and recommend Zander Insurance, and we love them. They are so on top of everything, and they do great work to find the best options and prices customized to your family's needs. So go to Zander.com or click the link in the description and get a quote today. You can also find out more at my website under Rachel Recommends. So now we're going to head into the kitchen with the first celebrity chef I ever knew, my mom, Sharon Ramsey. And we're going to make one of her famous crock pot recipes in an Instant Pot.
I don't know what an Instant Pot is.
They say if you're lazy, it's a good thing to have.
We actually use one all the time.
So I thought on this episode it would be so fun to bring in my mom,
Thank you.
Sharon Ramsey, to help us cook. Because, Mom, you're like one of the best cooks out there. Really. You grew up
Always cooking, Rachel.
I know.
Always cooking.
She cooked
Yes.
all the time. She grew up on a farm.
I did.
What did you do?
It was everything was fresh.
True or false? Did you churn butter ever in your life?
Rachel.
True or false? Did you churn butter? Yes, okay,
true.
that's right. I think that's
Good
so
butter,
fun.
though.
I think that's
It was
so
good
fun.
butter.
I think that's so fun. Okay, so all that to say, you grew up cooking. You
Yes.
cooked with us growing up.
Yes.
And one of your favorite things was the crock pot.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of your recipes that you cooked for us growing up that was in the crock pot, and we're going to put it actually in this thing, which is called an Instant Pot. Have you used one of these?
No, but I've heard so many people talk about them. I don't have
Me
one, so I'm excited.
too. And I don't even know how it works.
What did you do?
I don't know.
What do you think
I don't know. It's going to lift up the lid. Okay.
Does it talk?
I don't know. No, it sings to you though. Okay. So anyways, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, it's stressing me out. Okay. And apparently this like blows up or something. People say.
No,
So
it's kind of like a pressure cooker. I grew up with pressure cookers.
Okay. So you're going to be
it's
better
very
at this than
similar
me.
to
Okay.
that.
So actually your crock pot, we have cooking back there, the recipe, which is fun. So instead of taking 6 hours, apparently it takes like an instant to cook in the Instant Pot. So, okay. So what are you going to cook for us?
This is going to be beef fajitas.
Okay.
And on a cold winter night, or even in the summer, it's something that is quick, it's easy. Pop it in the Instant Pot.
Okay.
We'll figure it
So
out.
what do we start with?
Okay, grab the meat.
Okay.
So the first thing we need to do.
Oh, and it's so
Ew.
raw.
Can I give you a little tip about meat?
Yes.
Okay.
That's gross.
If this were me, and I know people don't always do this, but I would actually take this over to the stove
Okay.
and I would sear it in a frying pan.
Wow.
Because
Getting real.
Rachel, come on, surely you know how to do that.
I think I did.
You would just put it maybe for about, I don't know, a minute and a half on each side.
Okay.
Just kind of browns it.
Actually, I hear that the Instant Pot sears it for you, or you can, or you
What?
can do it or something. Someone's told me, but I don't really know how that works. So that stresses me out.
Oh,
so we're not
Rachel,
doing that.
well,
Okay. Okay.
gosh,
So
saves
use that.
Okay, so we're gonna just put it in the Instant Pot.
Okay, I'll take this from you. All right, what do we do next?
Okay, next, and as you know, Rachel, what is one of my most famous sayings in the kitchen?
Oh, you always say,
Rachel.
open up your spice cabinet. Is that it?
Oh, just anytime you're cooking, seriously, just open up your cabinets, your spice, and all you have to do is just grab whatever and just use it all.
And to a non-cook like me, I'm always like, Mom, how did you make this? Just open up your cabinet, just put stuff in. I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know how much you're using. So that was salt.
Okay, that was all salt
Okay, yeah.
and garlic.
Garlic, okay. Pepper.
Well, that's pepper.
Pepper, okay.
And Rachel, you know I never measure, right?
I know, so that stresses
So
me out.
honestly, who's gonna know?
Well, the people eating it, if they're like, oh gosh, they can't even breathe because
Okay,
I
and
put in
this
sriracha
powder.
sauce, or I don't know, chili powder, okay. It looks like
Which
a lot.
makes it really spicy. That does.
Yeah, it's good.
It'll make it good.
Okay.
And then we have a can of Rotel tomatoes,
Perfect. Put that
which are
on top.
yummy,
Yes.
and green chilies.
Okay. I know what those are.
And then this is our dry onion,
Okay.
beefy onion.
So this is what's funny to me, is I'm like, this is kind of gross to me. Like,
Why?
I don't know.
You know another thing you can use this in that
What?
is so good? Hamburgers. If
Really?
you're gonna grill hamburgers, just open up a pack.
Does it stress you out?
'Cause it
Because you're
gives you-
kind of an organic, healthy eater.
True. I hardly shop inside the aisles. I'm
Oh.
always on the outside.
But you do this just because it tastes good.
Not very often.
Okay.
So we'll put it in.
Yes. No,
As
no
long as the
special way.
Instant Pot likes it.
Well, and it may not. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
A cup of water. We almost forgot about our onion, Rachel.
Oh, yes.
We have
Okay,
to
so
dice
chop-
our onion,
Okay,
okay?
okay.
You know, onions is something I love to use because it adds a lot of spice.
But so what are your other go-to foods that you're like, oh yeah, when you're cooking, always use a lot of spices.
A lot of Italian. Ooh, that's a strong onion.
Yeah.
A lot of Italian seasonings. And I usually try, in the spring, I try to always plant a little herb garden. So everything's fresh.
Don't you have some time on your hands, Sharon?
Rachel,
One day.
Rachel, one day.
Actually, I'm joking. We did plant herbs.
Winston did, didn't
Yeah,
he?
in a
Winston
pot.
did.
And it was great. And we had
Yeah.
rosemary and different
Yes,
things. Okay,
always
that's good. Okay.
This is also something I'd really hardly ever use.
No, which I saw
really
this in the
don't.
recipe. I was like, Mom, you use so cream mushroom, which is fine, but I feel like, I don't know, cream of anything
I
is
know,
like,
seriously.
but you're fine with it.
It's okay for something like this because it makes it thick. This
Okay.
is your thickener.
Okay, okay.
So yes.
So we're okay with that. Here, I'm gonna do this.
Winston.
Yeah.
Okay, the best to me are the black beans.
Okay, how many?
Black beans. 2 cans.
2 cans of black beans in here.
Ooh, that looks yummy.
Okay, so do we-
I think we got it all.
You stir it, right?
Mhm.
Like when you did it in the crock pot, you stir everything together. And I'm not a great cook. I've learned though.
You are learning.
Okay, so growing up,
Why did you not always?
well, I was about to ask you,
learn,
why did you
Rachel?
not teach me to cook?
Do you remember I gave you a week to make out your own menu and for you to go to the kitchen and to cook? I did that to Denise also.
Who was better?
Denise followed through
Okay.
and she did everything. She cooked our meals,
Well,
she planned
Denise,
and she
just
cooked.
the best one.
And then I think you maybe, instead of 5 nights, maybe you did 2. And it was probably macaroni and cheese.
Maybe.
Great.
But I've gotten better.
You've done better.
I've done better.
Yes, you have.
You've helped me, Mom.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Right, Mom.
Okay, so I click meats, so I read, and then I go up to an hour.
Oh gosh, I cannot wait.
Are you making fun of me in my Instant Pot? Are you
No,
excited?
I love it. No, I'm gonna go
Okay.
buy one.
So I don't even know.
Hey, Mother's Day's coming, right?
Yes.
Guess what I need?
Okay. So while this is cooking, actually our team put together a whole roast everything in an Instant Pot and it's finished. So I'm so curious what it looks like because it's done now. Okay, so let's move some of this stuff. Okay, so now I let this steam out. Is what they
Be
say.
careful,
No,
Rachel.
no, don't get near
You
it.
make me nervous.
I make myself nervous. Oh my gosh!
Are you gonna do it?
Should you do it?
No,
Or
you do it. It's yours.
Okay.
I'm excited for you.
Oh.
Yum. Oh my
Perfect.
goodness.
Okay, and apparently you can do this,
Oh,
which is very fancy.
good.
Oh, looks
Should we look?
good.
Should we
Okay.
taste?
Okay. Will you like take the forks, Mom, and like shred it? Is it
It's
shredding?
falling apart.
It is. Okay. It's a little watery.
Well,
is it usually that watery?
No, not really. Maybe because the first time, because we're not familiar with Instant Pots, you know? So honestly, maybe if you didn't put a whole cup of water, maybe 1/4 of a cup.
Okay, so do less water. Note to self. But
Oh,
it smells
it's-
good.
oh,
Here,
it
here.
looks
Let
good
me.
too. Okay,
you
let's do
get
this.
the shell. Get the shell. And we'll do this. Let me drain. All right.
Yum.
Yeah.
Doesn't it look good? It looks pretty good. What do you like on yours?
I'll do all of it. The cheese and the cilantro. That looks good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here's yours. You could probably get more.
Why?
I don't know. Well, I was just thinking like, did I put enough on mine?
Looks like you did. Oh, I got all the meat.
You got a chunk of meat. It's great.
I'm
It's
like
great. And there's another thing. Here, we'll just take a quick test. Yeah, do you like the cheese and cilantro? All right, Instant Pot.
Let's
Makes
look.
me a little nervous. Is it gonna be hot?
Is it good?
Good, good. A little juicy. It's good though.
It is very good, Rachel.
Well done, Mom.
Well, good job.
Thank you. Good job to you.
Winston will be very proud.
We went on an adventure, so I appreciate it. And hey, happy Mother's Day.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. You're the best.
You're the
Thank
best.
you.
So if you want the recipe to this and Mom's famous homemade salsa recipe, because it's awesome.
It's very good. It's
Really good. So click the link in the description. Oh, Mom, wasn't that fun? She's crazy. Okay, I have some friends here with me, and I'll tell you why. But when I was out on book tour, I had a chance to meet and talk with a lot of moms when I was launching Love Your Life, Not Theirs. And one of the things I heard over and over again was that they felt like they didn't have a sense of joy because they were caught in this comparison trap, especially the mom comparison trap. Can I get an amen?
Yes, we see
It's
it.
a real thing. But one of those is being a working mom is like, oh, should I be staying home? Or the stay-at-home mom's like, oh, should I be working? And it's just this vicious cycle. So I brought 3 of my best friends here who are doing mom life differently. So I have one of my best friends from high school, Mary Ellen, and she is a full-time stay-at-home mom. And one of my best friends from college, Cameron, and so she works part-time. And one of my working friends who we're together on video.
Adult life.
Adult life friends, Christy Wright, and she's a full-time working mom. Okay, so Marilyn, what's your favorite parts about staying at home?
I think my favorite part would be that I have been able to see like them grow from, being an infant newborn at home to now, Noah's like 2.5. And I've been able to see just such a progression. And so I haven't missed any of those, I think, big things.
Okay, so Christy, as a full-time working mom, like when you hear that, like how does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, I think there's an emotional side of it where you're like, oh, like I do miss that. Like, I mean, there's things I miss. There's moments, whether it's milestones or something silly and insignificant. But I think in life, the practical side of it is you can't be everywhere. So finding joy wherever you are, whether that's at home full-time or, working full-time or somewhere in between, has helped me cope with that because it's real.
Because it's
like,
hard.
You can't be everywhere.
But I love that because it is.
Yeah.
It's such an advantage, though. I mean, like seriously, it's such a gift.
Yeah.
To be able to have that. So Cameron, for you were full-time stay-at-home, and then you decided to do something part-time, just kind of recently, I guess. So tell me about that transition for you.
Okay, so I had my 2 girls really close together.
And how close together?
so they're 16 months apart.
Very close together. I can't imagine.
Been there. Been
Yeah,
there.
yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. It's hard.
Right. As time progressed, we realized I needed 2 pairs of shoes and I needed 2 fall wardrobes for them.
And car seats.
And car seats.
Like how expensive.
Everything.
Car seats,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And food. They start eating more food. And in that time, I found out I was pregnant with my 3rd. And we realized, oh, we need a bigger car. Just things like that are real necessities when you're a growing family.
Yeah.
And so Paul and I were talking, and we kind of decided that if I could bring in X amount of dollars a month, and it wasn't an unattainable amount, but if I could do that, then we would have a little more cushion in our budget.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I've always had this passion and love for photography that I kind of wanted to see if I could make it something. But insecurity always took over. The comparison game truly was what kept me from wanting to jump into this business. And
what, from social media or people's like photography websites that you'd see and you're like,
it was majority social media, honestly. So I started real small, and over the course of 2.5 years, it has turned into this big business. And I mean, I dedicate time every single day to it.
With every mom, and y'all can probably attest to this, that every mom's a working mom, right? It's like whether you're at home or you're out of home, you're constantly working. So for you being home full time, do you have the feeling like the grass is greener on the other side? Do you ever have this itch to say oh my gosh, I wish I was working?
Well, yeah, and I have friends like you that I feel like balance the working life and not being a stay-at-home mom so well. So sometimes I'm like, man, maybe that would be a great thing to try one day or anything, something like that. But I would say, the grass is always greener on the other side. If I traded it, would I regret that? You don't. And I think God has you where you're supposed to be.
Okay, Christy.
Yes.
Full-time working mom. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you always know you wanted to work?
No, it's funny you say that because I think
I would have guessed yes.
Okay, well,
I thought you would say yes.
Growing up, like whatever you grow up with is kind of your normal, right? Like as a child, as a 5-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you expect out of life. And I had a mom that worked full time because she was a single mom. So that's all I saw was a working mom. But I also had a lot of friends and other people that had stay-at-home moms. So it makes you question, like, could I want that? Yeah. And even like our company, like you and I are in unique roles here. And when we kind of set out to be on this path of being a Ramsey personality, they ask, like, kind of, are you in it for the long haul? This isn't a 2-year gig. Like, this is like, this is our succession plan for our company. And so it makes you have these conversations of making that commitment even before I'd ever had a child. And so I was going, well, yes, I think I'm in it for the long haul, but I've also never held my own baby.
Yes.
And would that change me as a woman? So I really, to your point, I really wrestled with that for a while. But I think ultimately it went back to, I love what Cameron talked about with like loving photography. She's really good, by the way. Can we talk about like, she took our family's photos and like, I want to wallpaper my house with them because they're so good. Anyway, so she is very good. But I love how she talked about how I love how she talked about that she loves it because what I know about myself, if I look at myself, I love to work. So for me, it's not something I have to do. I'm very fortunate that I don't have to work, but I choose and want to. And you do wrestle with this guilt of like, does that make me a bad mom and bad person that I would choose to spend time away from my children? But I think it ultimately for me comes down to knowing what makes me a whole woman. And that is a piece of my life that's very important to me. So for me, it was really understanding how I'm wired and understanding how I wanted to use my time. And one of the blessings we have that I want to point out is we're not logging 60 hours a week. We have work-life balance. So if I had to sacrifice all the time with my children, I'm not willing to do that. Right?
Absolutely. So for your balance as working, because you put all your hours together and it's a 40 to 50 hour week with your writing and everything. So like, how do you balance it? Like,
for me, it's a seasonal thing. And so it's unrealistic, I think, to expect in any industry or any stage of life that
and we like to say life balance is just crap. I don't know if we can say crap on the show, but we're saying it because it's not true. There's not going to be this 50-50 split. You're not going to have like perfect spiritual time and physical time and family time and work time. Like it's just not going to happen on a day-to-day basis.
No. And I talk about this all the time. Like even when I speak on this, I'm like, it's not doing everything for an equal amount of time. It's about doing the right things at the right time. Yeah. And then obviously I have a lot of help. Like my husband is such a supportive, I could never have done what I do with my work if he didn't help me at home. And so it really is a partnership and team in that sense.
Amen to good husbands.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah.
We love you for watching. That's so good. Okay, so one thing that I feel like a lot of moms talk about and something that I hear that I feel like can kind of be overrated these days, but it's just still a true emotion that moms have is mom guilt. So my question to you guys is like, do you have that? Do you feel mom guilt?
I think then it's kind of reminding me what Cameron was saying, but I think at times like I don't bring in any money. So I literally am like, I'm the one who spends all of our money. I'm the one who grocery shops. Like, so I feel like I'm always spending money and I'm not making any of it physically, you know? And so Drew just has to remind me, you know, he's like, but what you're doing is worth something.
My mom guilt is similar to, I'm sure, a lot of moms with multiple kids, but just dividing time. And a lot of it's not even mom guilt towards my kids, but it's even my husband. Like by the time he comes home, I'm so tired, and like I'll look back in a day and think, did I spend like quality time with each one of my kids? And a lot of days it's no. And I do think there's grace for that, and it sounds like we all have awesome husbands. Because Paul is really good at reassuring me that like I'm doing my best.
Okay, so what is the best one with this? What's the best piece of advice that either you heard before kids or even during kids that you could give moms? I know for me, I'll say that I had a mom tell me to each its own. And like, you have to remember that. And I think we joked about this even when I was registering. When we were registering for stuff, it's like, you got that stroller? Oh, no, you need this stroller. You got that car seat? Oh, no, did you register there? Don't register there. You need to register here. And it's like, oh, my dear goodness. Like, it's just like all this decisions. And that's just even before the baby comes. Right. And so whether it's, you know, nursing or bottle feeding or sleep training or not, like whatever it is, to each its own. And you kind of have to like bite your tongue, I'm sure, at times. But like, that's what someone gave me. And I was like, I love that. Because it kind of gives the freedom to like love whoever is in front of you where they are, because it's what they chose. It's the way they chose to do motherhood. Yeah. So that's the piece of advice I loved.
I love it. A lot of my girlfriends have talked about this, and they're always saying something to the effect of, you're doing better than you think. And it really is just full of grace, because even when you guys were talking about mom guilt, you know, I teach on this, and I still struggle with it, because we always teach on what we struggle with, right? Like I don't talk about it because I'm perfect at it. I talk about it because it's a daily struggle. But I feel like for me, a lot of the guilt comes from focusing on where I'm not. So the opposite would also be true. Like just being proud of what you did do, being proud of how you did get through that day, or, you know, the contribution you made to your family versus, oh, I didn't do this or this. I didn't get to this part of the checklist. And so as my friend Ruthie, who you actually know, she was like, you're doing better than you think. So always focusing on like, here's what I did do. I may not have gotten to these things. There may be piles of laundry. I may not have brought any money or not, you know, whatever. But here's what I did do. And being proud of that. And it just gives you that grace to relax into that, you know.
That's good. Yeah. That's really good.
I am typically a people pleaser. And so I take a lot of what my friends are doing and think, oh, should we be doing that? Should we do kind of what you're saying?
Yes.
And about a year and a half ago, I had a really wise mentor just say, you've got to put your blinders on. And what other people doing, if it looks different for you, isn't wrong. They're not doing it wrong. You're not doing it right. But you just have to put your blinders on and trust the Lord and know that you are doing what you are called to do and that this is what's best for your family.
Yeah, that's so good.
I think someone told me at one point, like, just take it one day at a time. Like, especially in the beginning, right? When you're just trying to keep an infant baby alive. So just one day at a time. And then trust your mother's intuition, right? Like, trust yourself in the decisions you're going to make, because that's what you have to do. Be confident in that.
So good. Oh, well, thanks, you guys. Thanks for coming. I love it. Because there's all different perspectives, and you moms watching, you know, you're all in different roles and you're in different stages of life. And so hopefully you found some of this helpful, and hopefully you have some great girlfriends like I do. So yeah, thanks, you guys.
My wife's a mother of 6 children. We hope that we do a good job making her feel special.
Oh, I just love having my friends on. I wish they were with me every day at work. It's just so fun. So whether you're a stay-at-home mom or a working mom, here are 4 things that every mom needs to do. Number 1, find a group of girlfriends. You guys, find a group like what I have. It's so important. And listen, your situations may be different, but make sure your values are the same. Number 2, keep a gratitude journal. Number 3, create a list of things that fuel you. Make a list of things that actually energize you versus drain you, like scrolling through Instagram all day or watching Netflix. And number 4, make sure you have life insurance, because if something happens to you, you have to replace that income. Now, speaking of income, speaking of money, let's talk about saving up money. That's right. It's She Works Hard Saving Money. Time to celebrate you and the work you're doing. So Megan says, saving for a trip to London and Paris in May. Paris. Well done, Megan. Michelle says, right after Christmas, we bought a 2017 Subaru Outback for cash. Just under a year used. Like it. Holly says, just paid cash for a Scandinavian trip coming this summer. This will be the first vacation that financially doesn't follow me home. The freedom. I love it. Bridget says, paying cash for my husband to go on a boys skiing trip to Vail. Bridget, you're very generous. Oh, you guys, I love hearing the stories of moms saving up to do nice things for themselves and their families. So don't forget to post what you have saved for, and make sure to use the hashtag She Works Hard Saving Money so that we can celebrate your hard work with you. So if you're a mom, click the link in the description to lower your mom guilt and financial stress. And if you know a mom, send them this episode to make sure they know that they matter. Thanks again to Jennifer, my mom, and my friends who stopped by. Don't forget, we have a new episode coming up in 2 weeks that's all about your home. Thanks again for watching, and remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.